An open letter to 5 heavenly manifestations on the history of human and religious culture. For the first time, humans have recorded it completely in the form of photos and videos. An open letter to the United Nations World Organization of Religions for Peace. The Shinto Buddhist churches of major religions around the world, religious organizations in China, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, the world's most authoritative scientific organization or quantum science team, and the Chinese Academy of Sciences give the global scientific community the most challenging research topics. Here are some of the most influential figures and rulers in history. From the color of the clouds. It is not clean. The darker the sin, the heavier the sin. Some people have committed many sins in their lives. Some have just been resurrected. The influence of important people on national development can be judged from the depth of cloud color. It is interpreted by a series of scene photos, the judgment of God. Since scene photos require a lot of space to explain, it was a lot of work. It is necessary to have a deep understanding of the history and historical figures of various countries. This requires a team to study. Due to the large number of important figures in the history of God's judgment, only a few characters can be selected here. Each character can only choose 1 or 2 photos to show. I'm very sorry. Narasi, the founding emperor of the Qing dynasty, wearing a red tassel cap. These 2 are portraits and statues of Narasi. This is from the internet, to make it easier for people to compare and identify. Emperor Shunzi of the Qing dynasty, shave and go home, have a beard. The Empress Dowager Cixi in the late Qing dynasty was photographed at night. These 2 are the Empress Dowager Cixi herself. This is from the internet, to make it easier for people to compare. Bell paper gold, Temujin, Genghis Khan. Temujin portrait of Genghis Khan. The photo is sourced from the internet, to make it easier for people to compare. Yuan Shizu's bell paper is golden. This is a single string, facing east. Portrait of Yuan Shizu. The photo is sourced from the internet, to make it easier for people to compare. Great Liu the First. The Big Liu's horse on horseback is composed of border maps. Portrait of Darius the First. The photo is sourced from the internet. For convenience, people compare. Saladin. Portrait of Saladin. Photos are sourced from the internet. Ottoman I. The headscarf and nose are a bit exaggerated. There is also a portrait of a woman with a side face. Portrait of Ottoman I. The photo is sourced from the internet. The man was wearing a Roman military cap. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte's portrait. The photo is sourced from the internet. Another contemporaneous figure in the Napoleonic scene wearing a military cap. The facial features are important figures in Africa. Wang Yu's wife wearing a hat. Right. Arab bigwigs in headscarf. East-facing profile. A big man in a tall military hat. From the head, this person may be Qin Shi Huang. The nose is rather tall. The following example is analyzed. The Tsar of the Russian Empire series. There are 100 or 200 photos and videos in total. Here are examples of Tsar Peter the Great and Queen Catherine II, Alexei Vina, from birth to death. Pick a few and let people see how the big shots are interpreted and manifested. The Russian Tsar and the polar bear. The direction of the clouds is north. The bear represents Russia. Tsar Peter the Great. The portrait of Tsar Peter the Great. This is from the internet. The black clouds and 4 stones below symbolize the castle owner, Duke Christian Augustus. The old woman on the lower left. Directly below, a young woman, Johanna, Elizabeth, Ekaterina, a little girl on her head. How many more people are above Christian Augustus' head? Russian royal family. Ekaterina grew up. On the Duke's head was the head of the Emperor Peter and Catherine. Above the marriage are his royal family members and political powerhouses. Marriage. Behind Ekaterina's head was the figure of a man. There are several figures around the neck of Peter III to support his political influence. Catherine ascended the throne. Profile of the elderly queen, Ekaterina, to the left. Portraits of Empresses Catherine II and Peter III. Photos are sourced from the internet. Tsar of the Russian Empire series. There are 100 or 200 photos and videos in total. It's about the rise of the Russian Empire, the expansion of the territory, and a series of important figures. 5 excerpts speak of Queen Catherine II of Russia. You can see that, right? Interpret these photos of big shots with scenes. It requires a lot of historical knowledge, cultural clothing, and geographical knowledge. It is also necessary to have a deep understanding of the appearance, clothing, and image characteristics of historical figures. So, it's a huge project. The names not written in the above and many important figures in history still need to be studied and confirmed later. Interested brothers and sisters are welcome to study together. All ethnic groups in the world share similar memories of their ancestors. All ethnic groups have passed down myths, epics, and scriptures through word of mouth. The history of every nation begins with a myth. Ancient China, ancient Egypt, ancient India, ancient Babylon, etc. are all the origins of the legend that God created man from clay. They all have memories of the great prehistoric flood. The wrath of God and the great disaster are all waiting for God's return. The end of the millennium. The world is strikingly similar. Why after the Tower of Babel? The language has different names. They're told in different ways. For example, the prehistoric flood god is shown 3 times. In Chinese culture, there is the great Yu who controls water and does not enter the house. The handwriting of ancient and modern Chinese is composed of Zhou. Now it has evolved into Zhou. In the Bible, Noah's Ark is the story of Noah's family of 8 during the Great Flood. Are people getting older? Have you forgotten the story of your ancestors? If you have more brothers, you will split up. If you have more people, you have to move. Doesn't modern biomolecular DNA also trace back to humans from the same ancestor? The so-called country. The word country in oracle bone inscriptions. It is the land circled with GI weapons. The Lion King uses strength and urine to circle the land. The so-called king originated from the patriarch of the early human family. With the increase in personnel, the land expanded. The people of the tribe elected a leader with high morals and strong abilities. Implement management. The embryonic people of the king are all descendants of the same surname. Later, it developed into expansion. Land occupation was king, and force was king. During this period, the nature of the people has changed to a submissive people. The Lion King relies on his own strength to protect his territory and family. Can the law of the jungle be the king of mankind? The king of mankind depends on his people to protect his country. So the state is a collective asset that every citizen who lives on this land has a share in. The people's homeland, rather than an empty word. The development of human civilization to this day. The laws of the jungle for animals don't apply to humans, because we are human. It is fundamentally different from animals and beasts. Rulers are the managers of society, rather than the owner. Just like the property company is collectively hired by the owners to manage the community, rather than the owner of the community. The so-called nation. It is to produce and live in this land circle for a long time. The combination of yin and yang changes in the geographical environment and long-term production and eating habits produces different constitutions. It is the different constitutions of one side of water and soil cause differences in habits and thinking. The different cultural characteristics formed by the bias of thinking. 60 to 70% of the population in a region have similar constitutions and ways of thinking. It will form corresponding cultural characteristics. It is the result of the commonality of thinking. For example, Hunan is hilly in the south. It's mountainous and humid. The hot environment in the south. Yangtze is abundant Therefore, it causes the human kidney key to be low in yin to adapt. So Southerners are generally short in stature. People with low kidney key levels are susceptible to kidney-related diseases, such as gout, uremia, etc. The constitution is overcast, cold is easy to get on the body, the internal organs are cold. You get cold, kidney weakness and liver prosperity are prone to hepatic, hypertension. The rising sun is excessive. The tree has no roots. The various manifestations of human beings and all diseases are related to physical fitness. Physique is the combination of the permutations and changes of the various levels of yin, yang and qi and blood of the internal organs, and the changes of the external environment, yin and yang, form the level of each viscera compartment. There is no disease if the level of the viscera is balanced, except for exogenous pathogens. So the physique I'm talking about is fundamentally different from the physique people recognize. The mountains of Hunan are hot and humid, so people's liver key is enhanced to adapt to enhanced dehu. Therefore, girls in southern mountainous areas generally have fine and clean skin. If the liver is strong, the muscles will be strong. The shoulder muscles are strong, so people in mountainous areas can generally carry it. He has a rigid personality, decisive power. It has nothing to do with whether it is correct or not. The mind will be clearer. If the liver quality is high, the serum memory will be good. The reaction speed will be fast. The constitution is overcast. It belongs to the reverse thinking group. Strong sense of risk. People with this physique are prone to making generals, so since ancient times, there has been no Hunan and no army. People with this constitution cannot adapt to living in the desert, will die early. Desert life requires moisturization. The liver is too prosperous and too high, incongruous with other viscera grades, can get sick, such as hepatic hypertension. Therefore, it is necessary to solve the problem by eating. Some wet peppers increase moisture removal. So Hunan people are very comfortable eating chili peppers, can increase health. The chili culture that formed, rather than saying that the literati developed the habit of eating chili peppers from an early age. You open a Shanghai restaurant in here, it won't be long before it goes out of business. Too few customers. So you have to understand the physique of people in a region. Observing and learning about the local geography and eating local dishes is a good way. The cognitive difference between the formation of pepper culture is that one is passive, one is need. If it is the physique of a Shanghai or a northerner, he eats one star like a Hunan chili pepper, then he can't go to the bathroom conveniently. You're angry, so your body doesn't need it. People get uncomfortable. Eating habits are not formed. It's a physical problem. It's useless how you cultivate it. Only people with moisture like to eat hot peppers. The hot and humid peppers grown in Hunan are very spicy. After planting in the north for 2 generations, it will not be spicy. One side of the water and soil nourishes the other side. The plants that can be planted are also needed by this person. Amazing. Many Chinese people can't stand it if they go to the West to eat Western food for several days in a row. It's because of the different constitutions. It's not your stomach. Different constitutions lead to different food cultures, different lifestyles. Different ways of thinking create different cultures. Reverse thinking is reverse. Forward thinking is more forward. Both Shun and Shun are highly developed dialectical thinking. This is the ancient people's inconvenient transportation. The circle is closed due to differences in geographical environment, farming, food culture, and nomadic food culture. Beef and mutton fill the sun, causing greater physical differences. In addition, the geographical environments of farming and nomadic pastoralism are quite different over a long period of time. The differences in physique and appearance are extremely obvious. Most of the ethnic groups in the West are people with excessive yang energy. They are living creatures, so they especially like to use ice. Chinese people like boiling water. Liver grade is too high, less body fat. The liver opens the eyes. His eyes change color. Vulnerable to dental, skin, cardiovascular, and other diseases. The yang is overflowing. The liver is strong and irritable against war, heroism. I like adversarial sports. I like metal music. The kidney opens to the ear. Other ethnic groups that play audio are not as good as others. Outgoing personality. It's a forward-thinking crowd. Logical thinking. Strong storytelling skills. The yang is overflowing. The body consumes quickly. Basal metabolism is fast. Long-term consumption of cold drinks. Wear shorts on snowy days. I like the cold, and the proportion of people who use wheelchairs when they are old is very high. The cold air condenses on the lower plate. The yang is overflowing. People with rapidly declining liver qi. It is easy to produce moisture and turbidity. The body is prone to gaining weight, like a Russian et. Women have more children. To adjust. Qi and blood will recover. You don't get fat. You're born fat. The level of inheritance of liver qi is low, like this level of viscera. If you understand the theory of traditional Chinese medicine, can adjust traditional Chinese medicine, basically, you don't get sick. Football requires a very well-coordinated heart, even in combination with qi. So do you understand the reason why Chinese football cannot be played? Yes, the constitutions of the basic population are different. The great combination of qi, kidney, and liver is a weakness. Weak liver, the universality of farming culture. You get liver disease. The mountains are stronger. If the liver is weak, the waist is flexible. It's like belly dancing. India is a plain. It is another agricultural culture. A strong liver is a strong one. The liver governs the essence, the kidney is strong and the bone is strong. The kidney is the main bone, the liver blood is sufficient. The highest is the best, strong and soft. This is the physique required for football. It is too ambitious to have more than enough energy. It doesn't matter how much money you stack. Choose the wrong investment line? Haha. What I want to express here is not that China cannot select more than a dozen players, 1.40 billion, but a small base of football constitutions is less effective. People with balanced levels of yin and yang and 5 internal organs are prone to sports that require high physical coordination. In the production and life of China, examples of high coordination can be found everywhere. A kitchen knife can do all the tricks in the kitchen. Mind is ingenious. Ping pong balls send a lot of blood to the head. Easy to play mind games. People with strong kidneys like Chico are prone to dance with legs and feet. Kidney qi is strong and yang is higher than yin. Long distance running has strong kidney qi and low yin and yang, football, etc. So each has its own strengths and weaknesses. What is the difference between high and low in the world? East Asians have a relatively balanced system of yin and yang. People with a flat physique are the most balanced in East Asia. Take China's view of the East Central China as the most balanced. There are many people with dialectical thinking, so the idea of the mean has been very popular since ancient times. Moderation is not the idea of compromise. It is the thought of dialectical thinking to choose the best solution, and around the world. No other country spans as far as north and south as China. The differences in climate and geography are tremendous. It doesn't matter what the climate and the diet do. There will be talent. The physical base of talents is large. But according to the aesthetics of girls in China today, what a forewaist, butterfly bone, right shoulder. It weighs less than 100 pounds. There are still a few people who eat well. This kind of literati slut Lin Dayu's pathological aesthetics. There is no power to tie the chicken. In addition to the popularity of late marriage and late childbearing, it goes on for so long. The adversarial sports crowd base collapses after a generation or two. Physical fitness will decline rapidly. The netting clan will spread significantly. Weak liver, poor ability to withstand stress, prone to depression. The age of the basic disease of the easy teats, old will get lower and lower. IQ will drop significantly. A baby's innate constitution is derived from during pregnancy. The physical status of the parents at that time. How much inheritance is given by the parents of the Yellow Emperor? Thousands of years ago, it told people where this aesthetic concept originated. Is it ignorance or is it deliberate propaganda? In the long run, this will destroy the clan. In some Western countries, there are laws that stipulate how much height and weight cannot be lower. But weight is also a very important subject. I'm just a little bit of a trigger here. It cannot be described systematically and comprehensively. In full swing, there is no end to it. To write a book. Someone, from somewhere in the text. It is similar to the local geographical environment. Physique is around 60 to 70% of the population's characteristics. Everywhere, there are people with different constitutions. Physique is the combination of the rank arrangement and combination of yin, yang, qi and blood of the 5 internal organs and the change of the external environment, yin and yang. Each viscera is divided into grades. Balance is disease-free, except for exogenous pathogens. The strength of an organ is compared to its own other organs. Interracial is a homogeneous hierarchical comparison. So the physique I'm talking about is fundamentally different from the physique people recognize. It refers to the most basic elements of a person. It can extend to diseases. Modern medicine is too late. Herbal adjustments for genetic weaknesses. To cure the disease. To cure the disease. No cure for the disease. To die rather than dying of illness. How to get a newlywed couple to have a baby who is perfectly integrated with them. True eugenics. The bias of thinking, dialectical thinking. The more intelligent one is, the less individualistic one is. Job orientation. For sports, music, psychology, the commonalities of groups. The management of society. The formation of culture and other aspects. Because humans are the most fundamental unit of social organization. Only those who understand will be targeted. Teach students accordingly. People make the most of their talents. To get twice the result with half the effort. Has to be the most important. Otherwise, no matter how smart you are, will be an evil person. A person without a future. The Huangdi Neijing is a heavenly book. It is God's medicine. If you are a dialectical thinker, can be integrated, really understand the person sitting in front of you. In 2 minutes, you get 60 to 70% or more of his message. That includes IQ. Are there any secrets? So you know how powerful the ancient medical techniques are, okay? I am a thinker, not good at writing. Say wherever you think. And the computer skills are also very poor. There is a lot of knowledge. I wanted to patent it when I was young. But my friends told me it was medically, systemic, unable to apply for a patent. When I see sex clearly, God revealed the true scriptures that descended from the sky in the development history of human beings and religious cultures. I know the knowledge I have accumulated from my life's battle against disease, not just saving my own life. This is God's plan and arrangement. Wu Wei, June 17, 2023.